commission consists of an all-civilian panel of members from across the city. The commission's roles include advising the mayor and city council on all police relations issues, reviewing and investigating officer-involved deaths, receiving complaints, and conducting hearings on misconduct against sworn Riverside police officers, making policy suggestions, and bringing community concerns to the attention of the Riverside Police Department. If you're interested in learning more about how you can serve or for information on the commission, visit riversideca.gov/CPRC.
Fall has arrived to the Inland Empire, and here on the campus of Norte Vista High School, the football season is heating up. It's the River Valley League opener as the Ramona Rams get set to pay a visit to the Braves of Norte Vista in our Riverside TV Game of the Week. Hi, everybody, and welcome inside Zach Erb Stadium here on the campus of Norte Vista. I'm Christian Miles, pleased to be joined by Nick Rice. And Nick, we have a good one tonight. Ramona come in off a perfect start, 5-0 to begin this season. However, no slouches in their own right here. The Braves at 4-1. Make no mistake, in the River Valley League, this is a big one tonight.
Certainly is. The preseason is over, so now we head to River League play, and two clubs that may have been the best out of Riverside, California in football coming into tonight do battle. And this is the special thing about high school football. Yes, you have a 10-game season, but due to just how good these two teams are, a win or a loss tonight could go almost the entire way towards determining a league championship.
Yeah. Title implications tonight. Let's look at Ramona right now. Diego Muniz, the junior quarterback, having a great year, and a big reason why they've had such a good start.
Well, the Rams have just been sensational, but he has been the catapult of that offense specifically. He is about as terrific a dual-threat quarterback as we have in the River Valley League. He's second in the conference in passing, one of the best rushers in the conference as well, and he should be real tough to stop. Norte Vista's a good defense, but Diego Muniz is that quarterback. He's just that good. He'll be tough and put up points tonight.
Hey, Norte Vista's got a pretty good offense. It's built on the running game, and the sophomore Eddie Elaine is raising a lot of eyebrows.
Yeah, well, he has been the go-to man for the Braves, the league leader in rushing, and he is about as tough a force as there is. He is big and bulky. He had gained some weight throughout the offseason and the weight training, and throughout the non-conference year, he has torn the defenses to shreds and certainly should be tough to stop tonight.
All right, we've got a good one here. It's the River Valley League opener. Last year, it was Ramona losing out. Now Norte Vista looks to make it 2 straight. When we return, we'll have the starting lineups and the first half kickoff. It's the Rams and the Braves next on Riverside TV. And welcome into Zach Erb Stadium here at beautiful Norte Vista High School, the home of the Braves, 4-1 against the perfect Ramona Rams in the River Valley League opener. Happy to have you along, Christian Miles, alongside Nick Rice. A little bit of an early kickoff here, but we'll start it off with Norte Vista in possession early on the first drive. And certainly we'll get a look at that vaunted running game early on here, Nick, as it's a draw right up the guts. And as you would expect, it's the sophomore Eddie Elaine. We talked about him in the open. He is the key man tonight for the Braves.
Well, he has been sensational. The Braves it's a throwback offense. They're a run-heavy unit, and that has helped guide them. And speaking to head coach of Norte Vista, who's been around for about a quarter century, even longer, the run game will be integral tonight.
A gain of 7 by Eddie Elaine. Here's a kid who's just a sophomore, ran for over 1,500 yards as a freshman last year. And another pitch to the talented sophomore. Right up the guts he goes. Short gainer that time, and very close to moving the chains. And in fact, it does. So 2 downs and a first down here for the Norte Vista Braves.
We're really excited for this football game tonight. It's the beginning of the River Valley League, and this most likely will end up being the most important game in terms of playoffs and the conference championship in the season.
And they'll pitch it right back here, and they'll go to Jesus Gonzalez and catch it up with head coach Kent Batdorf before the game here, Nick. He was telling us how talented this running core is.
Yeah, Norte Vista, they have the league's leading rusher in Eddie Elaine, who was just incredible against Ramona last year as well. They'll go heavy ground, and their blocking up front has improved all year.
Once again, they'll go short this time on the pitch. And a short gainer after 2nd and 5. It'll be about 3rd and 5 here. All running game. In fact, We talked to Ken Batdorf, the head coach of Norte Vista. He said, hey, you know, we're lucky if we throw it about 10 or 11 times per game. They did that about 11 times last week in that win over Norwalk with 9 completions, but it's their running game. It's nearly at 280 yards per contest. That's where they get the job done. So it's 3rd and 2 for quarterback Daniel Gonzalez, and once again the draw very close to the first down for Elaine. They might have to bring the chains out for this one.
Yeah, and he just got it. Last year, Eddie Elaine ran the ball 33 times for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he has improved. He is a very young kid, has a bunch of talent, and also is seeking Division I interest. This man is a next-level type of player.
That was that big game that saw Norte Vista with a big win, 40-29.
It catapulted them to the playoffs last year.
Such a big game. Of course, Hillcrest having a big say in the title race, as you would expect, the big 3 in the River Valley League. And once again, more of the run game, more of the same. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And for Norte Vista, what's fascinating in looking at this team and talking to the head coach, they throw it back. They're an old-fashioned team. They've run the ball here 6 plays to begin this drive. But when they're asked with their quarterback, Daniel Gonzalez, to throw, they are a very serviceable offense that can stretch the field in those limited instances.
So it'll be 2nd and 6, and they'll throw it up to Carvajal. He tries to go right up the guts right now. They're hitting that line dead center. They're having success in moderation. And that will bring up 3rd and 3.
Well, for those of you watching and are getting a bit dizzy at these ball carriers, I mean, we're the same. The Braves, they employ 7 or 8 different runners in terms of fullbacks, tailbacks, and wide receivers on those tosses, those pitches, all different formations. They throw out Ramona and all the defenses they have played this year, and that really keeps the offense fresh.
So 3rd and 3 for Elaine and Gonzalez. It's very close, and it's just short, I believe, the first down, depending on the spot. And Elaine trying to go up the guts once again. A quick pitch paying off here as they slowly but surely march downfield. Not close enough, so 4th and short. And an early decision to make for Ken Batdorf and the Braves.
It really is. Yeah, it's an important football game between Norte Vista and Ramona. And as we look at this 4th and 1, I believe that this may be a huge turning point in the first half of this contest.
The ball on the 48, and they'll go right back to their tried and true, just enough on the surge. 2nd effort got it, so first down. And a 4th down play. Good conversion here for Norte Vista to keep the drive alive.
That was a physical run for Elaine. I mean, he's one of those bowling balls. When he gets going, he can lower the shoulder, and he crashes into that line and moves the chains. That was an impressive play as they've gone ground now. With 9 straight snaps. 10th play of this incredible possession.
Already 21 yards on those 5 carries for Elaine, and the referee puts a halt to this one on first down. Now, speaking of penalties, Ken Batdorf telling us, hey, if we keep it clean, we don't get those penalties, we'll stand a very good chance of winning, and this is going to work in their favor. 5-yard penalty, so 1st and short for the home team.
Maybe we can look at that team comparison as we take a look at the River Valley League most specifically as well. These 2 teams can run the ball, but of course Norte Vista has been incredible.
Yeah, a little bit more passing yardage there for the Rams, as we'll see on their offensive possession. So Gonzalez on the pitch and stopped, and nothing going there that time. Well read by the Rams defense. First to it, very, very quick off their defensive line.
So when we spoke to Norte Vista, the coaching staff throughout the week, and of course leading up to this football game, he believes that they should have even more than what we saw on the screen there, the 278 yards per game rushing. The Braves, he believes, should have even more than that, and largely it's due to the blocking, and they'll shed and head to the 2nd level a bit early. That's just a mental thing, and Norte Vista has improved throughout the year in that regard.
2nd 5 for Jesse Carvajal, gets about 3 on the carry. It's going to bring up 3rd and short for Norte Vista. And indeed, this is a defense for Ramona that lacks a little bit of experience. Only a couple of returning starters, that being number 52, Juan Sumaya, who's really the leader up there on that DL.
Yeah, the Rams, you can see already now the 12th play of this possession. Some of those defensive linemen, they have their hands on their hips. They're a bit exhausted and are getting beat at the point of attack here.
They'll line up in the eye on the pitch to Elaine. Breaks the line of scrimmage, but caught and dropped for a loss. Well wrapped up that time by Brian Alvarenga, the two-way player and senior.
And we saw this in the previous meeting as they're denied on third down. Ramona got off to that flying start. The defense has some excellent, especially up front, some size and some strength that can, in those third downs, as we see here, Elaine getting stopped, they can move the pile. However, the Rams, we will see over the course of the game as Notre Vista has more bodies on their roster, whether or not they can exhaust Ramona throughout this second half.
So 4th and 2 for the Braves, another test, and they'll go back to Elaine. It does just enough, a little bit of a stumble there, but it should be enough to move the chains. No doubt about it, and they're not making any disguises. They're going to run and run straight at you.
Yeah, they've gone between the tackles carrying the ball essentially every series. Now, this appears to be a closer measurement. They're even bringing out the chains than we initially thought as Elaine goes airborne there. Incredible job up front, paving the way by the Notre Vista offensive line.
I'll take a quick look, and a lot is depending on this spot here, Nick. It was 4th and 2. It looked as though on that trip over when he hit the ground, it may have been enough, but they're going to bring out the chains and take a closer look.
Right. This would already be their second terrific job of the chain gang, putting the hustle on to get over there. But this has already been a sensational drive. And early on, not only has the game plan been clear that Notre Vista will carry the ball led by Elaine, but also their plethora of backs, they also are going to go for it on 4th down, their second try of the ball game.
Well, and that will be just enough. Just a 3/4 ball length, a little closer than we anticipated, but a first down nonetheless. And we talk about this running game. Get this, 87% of their total offense in terms of yardage comes on the ground, right? Covering just around 300 yards a game. Ken Batdorf says, hey, I want to get 350 to 400 per game.
Right, and he believes he can do it, and this offensive line looks like a unit that can do that here in the River Valley League.
So first down, and this one from the 37. And a nice sizable gain and a good carry from Eddie Elaine. Sophomore at 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, and Nick was talking about the success running for over an average of about 122 yards per contest. He blew the doors off the River Valley League as a freshman last term.
He looks like a senior already with just his power and his athleticism. Really has been a sensational drive put together by Eddie Elaine, Joseph Lucky, and the Notre Vista offense. This is the most significant stat line to me. Not only is Notre Vista running the ball as they have with success here in the early stages of this game, Ramona knows they're going to run the ball, and throughout this drive it's been clear where they're running between the tackles, and it has still paid huge dividends for the Braves early.
And everybody in this building, everybody in this conference knows exactly what Notre Vista is going to do. They're making no bones about it, but hey, it may be one-dimensional, but it's very, very successful. As they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's really bared the fruit, and this drive brings them all the way down.
Yeah, this possession started at their own 20. They have marched to the 34-yard, 33 already. And this is what makes the Braves such a tough out of the River Valley League. This offensive line paved the way for a 9-3 season last year. The Braves were, yet again a year ago, the best run game in the conference, and they are proving it yet again in 2019. Powerful drive put together in over 8 minutes by the Braves.
2nd and 7 from the 34. In motion goes Gabe Koshmeri, and on the run, not much gain there. So it'll bring about 3rd and long here for the Braves. An offense that returns 8 starters this campaign from the team in 2018. They went 9-3 and finished 2nd to Hillcrest in the River Valley League.
Just an incredible drive by Nota Vista. But this may be the first time they lean on Daniel Gonzalez to throw, even though this unit averages about 7 yards a run. And they're capable of moving the chains on the ground.
So they line up in the eye, 3rd and 6 for Nota Vista. And once again, they go right back to Elaine. And does he do enough? Just that last ditch lunge may have been enough, and it does appear that it's going to be enough for a first down. And a great second effort that time by the super sophomore.
Incredible carry from Elaine. He shows the balance there to take the initial contact from the defensive line and spins right through it. Eddie Elaine so far has been a workhorse. He has put in a half's worth of work just on this drive alone and has carried Nota Vista into scoring range.
So first down from the 26. Long methodical drive, approaching the 10-minute span. And once again, they'll go back to the tried and true of Elaine, short gainer once again, and the clock keeps going. Nota Vista coming off that 28-7 win last time out against Norwalk. They had a bye week to think about. A loss on the 13th of September at home to Temecula Valley. It was a nail-biter, 16-12, but they really bounced back in positive fashion.
This is the time of year that Nota Vista plays its best football. In the month of October, last year they outscored their opponents 146 points in October last year, and now in October 4th, they're doing the same again.
This will be Jesse Carvall after the 4-yard gain from Elaine, and less than that this time for Jesse Carvajal, the sophomore at 5'7", 180 pounds. Very much a different runner, a little bit of a wrinkle thrown into the running attack that really is multifaceted.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been tough for Ramona to slow down. I mean, the Rams defense has been on the field this entire quarter, and no matter what they throw at them, it's been sensational how they've been able to move the chains here.
So 3rd and 3 from the 19. Inside the red zone now for Daniel Gonzalez, the senior quarterback, and hands it off on the pitch. And Elaine, not much wriggle room that time, but close enough.
Third downs have been more like second down for Nota Vista throughout this drive. It looks like they'll go for it again.
And this will be the 3rd, 4th down and short that we've seen. And they've made some gutsy calls here, Nick, on 3rd and 6, going to the run. And this one in the red zone.
Not very often do you see a high school football game where a drive takes maybe even over a quarter if they move the chains. This is, Christian, the 20th play of this possession, and they've gone ground every time.
4th and 1 for the Braves. Tight line. Throw it right back out, and I believe it's Carvajal. It is. He surges forward, moves the pile, and moves the chains in the process yet again.
Wow, what a run. Another 5-yard carry for Gonzalez. And Nota Vista, incredible block up front. That was by way of Emmanuel Rubio. He really just took Ramona's defensive line and pushes them 5 yards up the field. There's no other way to put it. Nota Vista has just overpowered the Ramona defensive line to start this football game.
Yeah, that's a real good way to put it here. This is a Braves team that's all about power. Players shaking up on the play, and you'll get some medical attention. But they beat you down. They play smash mouth football. You can call out whatever cliche you want, but certainly that running game just pounding on the defense.
Yeah, Sai Perez, there's the injured Nota Vista offensive lineman. And the Braves throughout this drive, I think the most significant moments of this possession has been those 4th down runs, not just from Elaine, but by committee. It shows that this is a well-coached football team and a club that isn't phased against the stout Ramona Rams defense on those 3rd and 4th down situations.
It brings up 1st and 10 from Ramona's 13, and the march continues.
Wow.
And the running game continues. This time it's Elaine trying to go up and over the top. They've got some good stops initially, but those second efforts have really paid off tonight for Nota Vista.
I mean, we witnessed it last year. We'll take a look at that in the second quarter, but Nota Vista can wear down a defense better than close to anyone else in the league. Incredible first quarter effort for the Braves offensive line through 22 plays.
Well, the Day of the Dead, and of course, that is Dia de los Muertos, returns coming up on Saturday, November 2nd at White Park in downtown Riverside from 1 to 10 p.m. The 16th annual anniversary of this traditional Mexican festival is held to celebrate with food, art, music, dance, and most importantly, beautifully decorated and personalized altars honoring loved ones that have passed on. For more info, get on the phone, call 951-784-3111, or get online, riversidedayofthedead.com for another great event. Well, it's been
also Riverside Halloween Fest. Sorry, not to cut you off there. It's October 26th. Get the kids in costume and head to White Park in downtown Riverside. For Halloween, it's the Halloween Fest between 2 and 10 p.m. There's a costume contest for both kids and adults, a haunted trail, kids zone with crafts and games, Halloween vendors, and a food and beer garden. Halloween Fest tickets are $10 for adults and free for kids 14 and under. That's Saturday, October 26th, 2 to 10 p.m. at White Park and downtown Riverside. For more info, call 784-3111, 784-3111, or visit riversidehalloweenfest.com.
Some great events coming up here. It is that spooky time of season. The meat of the high school football campaign is the River Valley League opener. And Nick, it's been all Eddie Elaine and the running attack here for Norte Vistas. They'll switch ends. It'll bring up 2nd and 8, ball on the 11 for the Braves. Looking to draw first blood against their dreaded rivals, and some good movement this time. Once again, straightforward approach from the Braves.
Now Albert Gonzalez, that's the 6th running back to tote the football in this drive. I mean, we're approaching a record here. I mean, what team in high school football can engineer a drive that's over 12 minutes long? This has been incredible. Ramona is one of the better defenses in the league, and Norte Vista is hitting them with its death by 1,000 paper cuts. They are hitting them in the mouth and slowly exhausting this defense.
So 3rd and 5, ball spotted at the 8 for Danny Gonzalez and Norte Vista, and the pitch out to the right, trying to break the edge is Elaine. It can't quite do it. Short gainer that time from the sophomore, and hard to believe this kid is just a sophomore. He comes from really good stock, as his big brother, Freddie Holly, is the starting running back at the University of Hawaii.
Yeah, you could expect Eddie Elaine, if he continues on this trajectory, to follow his brother and some of his family members into Division I football. He's out of the game right now, and Norte Vista, to their credit, has put together an admirable effort without Elaine. Whenever another kid such as a Lucky or a Gonzalez or a Carvajal touches the football, they have been successful as well.
4th and 1 from the 4. Jesse Carvajal bursts forward. Does he break the plane is the question. Very close to a touchdown. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Braves, is Carvajal cut just short of the end zone.
And he just with a head of steam. I mean, he lowered his shoulder. He was determined to get that first down. And you can see throughout this possession, Ramona initially crowded the box and defenders were lunging towards ball carriers. Throughout this possession, the Rams haven't been quite as interested as bringing down some of these runners with a full head of steam.
So 1st to goal for Norte Vista, and this time they do break the plane. Touchdown to the Braves in a drive that lasted nearly 14 minutes. But in the end, patience pays off as the Braves jump out in front here in the 2nd quarter.
13 carries for 39 yards for Eddie Elaine on that possession, and he finished it off for Norte Vista. That was an incredible drive by Elaine. He first showed his speed and then finishes it off with some power between the tackles. And Norte Vista marches 80 yards in an incredible drive.
Well, indeed, it was a nice, straightforward approach, and it's more of the same here for Eddie Elaine. We mentioned.
You can see the Notre Vista, not to cut you off there, there are 6 offensive linemen. They already took their blocks. They shed them and head to the second level. And that was something that we had talked to with the Braves and their coaching staff, that may be an issue later in the year. Offensive linemen, when they finish their blocks, they don't hang on to the blocks. They shed them and allow some of the defenders to make the tackle. But throughout those 23 plays that Notre Vista had on offense, the Rams are getting sick and tired of making the stop on defense.
Eddie Elaine, perfect on the season, 8 for 8 on those PATs, and he will kick us off here at the 10:06 mark of quarter number 2. And they ate up a lot of that time. A drive that nearly lasted 14 minutes. Incredible stuff. And we'll finally get our first look at Ramona. This one caught just outside the 20, and a nice little return all the way up to the 37-yard line. So the return of 17 yards for the Ramona Rams, and we'll finally get our first look at Diego Muniz and his talented offense.
Yeah, Diego Muniz has just been a one-man wrecking crew for Ramona, and if he doesn't have an incredible football game, it's hard for me to see the Rams manufacturing enough points to keep up with a Braves offense that already has exhausted the Rams. Muniz has the ability to match point for point with what the Braves do offensively.
So standing in at quarterback is Muniz, and he'll go long, and that pass intended for Adrian Monhay, the junior, but incomplete.
So Ramona last year had a successful season. They started the year 7-2. They looked like maybe the best team in this conference. Then one loss to Notre Vista, where they had the lead for the majority of the game, wound up being their season. They lost the next week, finished with a record of 7-4, and that was it. And the Rams were eliminated from playoff contention. And to me, this game tonight has very similar implications for the postseason.
So 2nd and 10 from the 37, and now Muniz in a little bit of trouble. He's dropped for a loss just short of the line of scrimmage, and it's a good tackle. So once again, Notre Vista getting the penetration defensively.
Yeah, the Braves brought a blitz there, and Muniz, one issue throughout that play is that he stares down the barrel on the left side, trying to fit it into his wide receiver David Cornejo on the left, who's running a comeback route there towards the boundary. It winds up not mattering anyways with a penalty and a hold against the Rams, but that may be an issue. If Muniz stares too far to one side of the field, that may end up being a problem for them moving forward.
And already 3rd and long. As you mentioned, a penalty tacked on to that. Difficult start here for the Rams in unfriendly territory. Remember, they lost by 14 points last year on their home soil. Trying to engineer what might be considered part of an upset here in the River Valley League opener. So 3rd and 10, no pen, and it will be Muniz, the junior quarterback. He looks to the left, pass thrown, caught complete, enough for a first down, all the way to the 49-yard line, and a gain of 12 here for Ramona. That's more like it.
Well, you can see exactly why he had his eyes set on the team's best receiver, at least for a majority of the year, David Cornejo. He yet again runs the same route he did on 2nd down, a comeback pattern. And for Notre Vista, I'm sure they're kicking themselves that they wiped out the penalty. Instead of a 2nd and 20, they had 3rd and 10 and convert on the throw from Muniz.
They show and draw it enough to fool the linebackers who got some good penetration, but not much there. Gain of about 3 or 4. Dan Cornejo indeed is their preferred weapon of choice. Kid's got 14 receptions here in the first 6 games so far for 152 yards on the campaign. A gain of 4 on the play, so that will bring up 2nd and 6 here, Nick.
And even though Cornejo has been sensational, the Rams are a balanced offense. They can run the ball with the best of anyone in this league.
Now one in motion, they'll go drawing right up the guts. They go this time, and well taken by Dante Roby. He's their bread and butter. Didn't have a great game last year against Notre Vista, but he's off to a great start at nearly 500 yards, averaging 6.5 per carry. And enough to push them forward for the first down.
Yeah, it's a terrific running back battle. The storyline runner is the best carry by way of yards in the league in Eddie Allain, but Dante Roby is almost as good as him in every right as well, and should be tough to stop for Notre Vista.
5'6", 185 pounds, very much a different runner. This time it's Monye trying to catch it, and it's picked off. Pass caught by Joseph Lucky, who barrels up the near sideline all the way past the 50 and cut down just short of the 43-yard line. Big play as that one was tipped by Monye, and alertly Lucky makes the grab. It takes it 56 yards for the return.
Yeah, Muniz initially, he scanned to his left. That's a throw that Monye has got to at least make it uncatchable for the cornerback, who steps in front of the pass and picks it off. That's a throw that I'm sure Muniz would love to keep if he could. I mean, that was right in the bucket for his receiver, and it's one of those unfortunate bounces where it ends up in the receiver's hands and off the deflection, intercepted by the Braves. They wind up marking him back at the 48-yard line, however.
Yes, indeed, did step out, so it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 48. Tough luck that time for Diego Muniz, so Danny Gonzalez and Norte Vista take over and once again go right back to the run. Not even a gain of 1 that time for Allain, who's really racking up the carries.
Now 14 carries for 40 yards. It's tough for the offense of Ramona to have a promising 4-play drive in with an interception, but it most likely is frustrating that Rams defense. They've been on the field for all but 3 minutes of this football game, as Notre Vista went 26 plays with a touchdown in their last possession, 25 plays.
So a gain of 2 for Allain. .703 left, and the penalty flag thrown. It looked as though there was some movement on that defensive line. Were they drawn by Norte Vista is the question. And they'll march it off, so movement on the line against the Rams here, Nick.
And that, I think, is just the result of an exhausted defense. Usually those type of mental mistakes you don't see in the first quarter of a football game for 2 good football teams such as this in midseason form. That usually happens when fatigue steps in.
So 2nd and 4 for Daniel Gonzalez, the senior quarterback. He's only thrown 14 times, or make it 25 times this season. Gonzalez goes to Jesse Carvajal, who's wrapped up at the 45. Short gain that time, and that will bring up 3rd and short now for Norte Vista.
Yeah, Notre Vista 2 for 6 so far on 3rd downs, but they're also 4 for 4 on 4th downs. So this is 2-down territory for them, seemingly for the remainder of this half. And with the way things are going for the Braves and that offensive line, if the Rams don't make a stop and force a no-gain play here, Notre Vista very easily will go for it on 4th again.
And Allain is lined up wide on the right. 3 wide receivers to the right for Gonzalez. Fakes the rollout, and they go once again right up the guts, and enough for a 1st down. Big gain that time. So it goes all the way down to the 37-yard line.
Impressive effort for Notre Vista. You can see exactly why they average nearly 7 yards a run. It isn't just the athletes, and Allain is maybe the best out of all of them in the backfield, but it's the plethora of bodies that they throw at you. And a fresh Albert Gonzalez moves the chains on 3rd down.
So a gain of 8, 1st and 10 from the 38. And once again, it's Joseph Lucky, the man who had the pick, a burst up the guts. And Joseph Lucky, yep, it's his lucky day. And Norte Vista grabbed their 2nd TD of the night. 38-yard run from Joseph Lucky, the 5'11 senior. And it's all going the Braves' way. And the 5:04 mark here, and the extra point once again from Fernando Salcedo is good. Perfect 9 for 9, and just like that, 14-0 here for Norte Vista.
Wow, just an incredible run from Joseph Lucky, and that is the result of a Rams defense that has been on the field nearly the entire half. Let's take a look at that most recent toss, and that's the type of formations that they'll throw at you. Those triple options, the 2 tight ends, the I formations, the power I's, and the single back formations. Joseph Lucky on a toss. He's running right, he's running left. They run the laterals and the reverses. It's tough enough to stop a running back when you know where he's going, like the opening half of that first drive for Nota Vista. They run a toss to the right, and he was untouched. It was one of his easier runs of the year, knowing that Lucky, from the moment he crossed the line, had only one man to beat. Incredible run and sensational blocking upfield.
Short kick, ball caught at the 22 and run upfield here. So go all the way up, a 19-yard return for Ramona. So I'll bring up 1st and 10, and now you talk about an uphill climb. We'll see how Ramona can get themselves out of the hole. Not going to be the easiest of tasks. Down a couple of touchdowns with less than 5 minutes until halftime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure going into this game, Ken Mushinski, the head coach of the Rams, didn't envision on the 5th snap for his offense of the game, they'd be down 14-0. But this is the type of scenario Muniz is capable of getting out of.
Out of the gun, Muniz, pass caught and complete. And a big gain enough for the first down. And once again, his favorite target, David Cornejo, makes the big grab. Second catch of the night for the 6'5", 165-pound senior wide receiver.
That sure was a confident throw coming off the interception. He goes right back to one of his favorite targets of the ball game and moves the sticks.
This one to the 45-yard line, and they'll go right up. Gain of about 4 or 5. Different type of running style for Dante Roby Jr. than we see out of Eddie Elaine. Short and powerful, enough for the short gator to make it 2nd and 5 for the Rams.
Yeah, it's hard to not look at Dante Roby as a kid that can play next-level football. This a great mix of athleticism and strength.
Roby had a great junior campaign. 200 carries, 1,424 yards. Average over 7 yards per rush.
Well, the one bright side for the Rams, if they score here and use all the clock, they receive the kickoff to start the second half.
Moving the chains a little bit quicker than we saw at that ground chuck running game from Nota Vista. So timeout for Ramona.
Really an incredible first half performance by the Nota Vista Braves on the offensive side of the ball. That defense, last possession ended with an interception. We'll see if they can do the same here tonight.
All right, John, did you know Riverside is the city of arts and innovation?
Oh, it sure is.
Well, you're going to find out coming up Thursday next week. It's the long night of arts and innovation. Just kind of think of it as a giant science fair with music, arts, science, and, of course, engineering, and fun for the entire family. Don't forget to dine at any one of downtown Riverside's awesome food establishments. Both myself and Pep Fernandez will be there doing live TV segments across the event, and we hope to see you there. That's Long Night of Arts and Innovation, Thursday, October the 10th? Yes, at 5 to 10 p.m. Downtown Riverside is the place to be. You can, of course, check it out online at longnightriverside.com for more information, but a great event going on downtown.
Just for clarification, Jeff Gorham, Pep Fernandez on the coverage of that, and our excellent Riverside TV crew.
We're just reading what's in front of us.
Oh, yeah. And it's good stuff in front of us.
So nice. Brill burst up the guts from Dante Roby, starting to show off his own repertoire. Stealing perhaps a little bit of the thunder, but another first down on 3rd and 2 is a good carry as he moves into Braves territory.
All right, Dante Roby, this is the type of athleticism where he races right past 5 Braves defensive linemen and moves the chains. That's the type of athleticism that really allows Ken Mushinski to open up the playbook. Those play-action passes for Muniz on the first drive seem to be paying dividends now as the Braves are on their heels.
So ball to the 42. So timeout for Nota Vista.
All right, let's take a look at those standings, shall we? 3:16 to go in the second quarter. Braves are up 14-0, and this is a pivotal football game, not just in terms of who takes or whether a one-game league in the standings, but also knowing that playoff implications right on these non-league records.
And a lot of pressure right now, a little bit more pressure right now, you'd say, on Norte Vista with that one defeat, but coming up, of course, they have the defending champs rolling into town, Hillcrest, so they want to come out. It's a real tough, big ask for Ken Batdorf and company, but they need to show their best early on this season.
Also, I know we're doing this game, Norte Vista and Ramona. The Jaguars of Jurupa Valley had suffered 3 straight winless seasons. They had gone 0-10 3 years in a row. Kudos to that staff that has guided them to a 3-2 record right now. And, of course, Hillcrest, these two teams are the favorites to come out of this league. But Jurupa Valley looks like a club that can compete for a playoff spot out of this conference this season. And we should be able to get some updates on them throughout this football game tonight.
Could be tied out of the gun once again. It's going to be Muniz, and a big breaker this time, and it's Roby barreling all the way down to the 15-yard line. A 27-yard run for the senior running back. Already with 10 touchdowns, but a bright drive right now is Ramona trying to find the answer after 2 consecutive strikes. And a big first quarter from Norte Vista. First down from the 16. They go to Dante Roby again. He breaks to the left. Dante Roby barrels all the way down, just short of the 5-yard line. It may be enough for a first down for Ramona. They're finding those gaps, and Roby really quick hitting those holes.
Yeah, he shows the explosiveness and the power of a running back that they're leaning upon throughout this second quarter as the Rams are giving Norte Vista a dose of their own medicine.
2nd and 1 out of the gun. They go to Roby once again and stopped at the line of scrimmage. He get enough on that second effort to get the first down.
Oh, he sure did. Incredible run from Roby. He isn't just an athlete when he heads to the outside, but he shows some slippery moves inside the tackles.
Has that low center of gravity, able to conjure up that extra bit of power. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 5, just enough for the first down. Once again, out of the gun for Muniz. This time it's a keeper, and does just enough for a short gain of 2 as they inch closer and closer. And we know that they can put up a lot of points very quickly here at Ramona. They put up 21 against Poly Riverside last weekend. This is a team that put 42 past Lakeside back on week 1.
Yeah, this is a dominant offense, and it seems they're at their best inside the red zone with the dual threat of Diego Muniz.
So 2nd and 4, and this one, once again, and this time it's going to be Alvarenga trying to change it up just a bit. Stopped just short of the end zone. So it'll bring up 3rd and goal here for the Rams.
Interesting for the Braves and their coaching staff to avoid using a timeout. Norte Vista does not burn a clock stoppage. It's the Rams who do. Now that's also fascinating because Ramona knows that if they score a touchdown here, that the Braves will have some time left to march down the field themselves with 3 timeouts. So this is a bit perplexing to me that they decide to stop the clock with so much time remaining in the second quarter.
We'll see what they have up their sleeve in a very important drive right now for Ramona. They don't want to go down 14-0 at halftime. It'll really be a big blow against the morale. But we were talking with Kent Batdorf. He says, we have to beat Ramona tonight. No bones about it. Yeah. They are the team to beat, coming in at 5-0. And a good start was imperative. They've gotten that tonight, but it's in jeopardy. As Ramona really showing a lot of character here, answering the bell after some impressive drives early on from the Braves.
This rivalry not only has really decided this conference, but it's been back and forth. I mean, 2 terrific football teams go at it yet again tonight. Norte Vista won last year and also 3 years ago, Ramona 2017 and 2015. Over the last 4 years, the crown of this pivotal rivalry to really determine the River Valley has pinned back and forth between these 2 schools. Now on 3rd and goal, Ramona has a chance to put it in their hands.
And it's going to be Roby. Oh, he was tripped.
By his
own quarterback. Just lost his footing. And did he lose his... Was he tripped? It looked as though that was the case. So unlucky that time for Dante Roby. It was 3rd and goal, and this will bring up 4th and goal about 3 yards out.
All right, let's take a look at that.
just lost his footing.
Well, that's unfortunate, but down in this area of the field, Diego Muniz, he is the second best passer in the league. He also was one of the most dangerous rushers in the league, so he has this dual threat ability where if they run those option plays, they have shown versions of it throughout this possession. It appears Ramona will use a timeout here first, and this was the type of scenario I was talking about. The Rams want to use up some of that clock and avoid a chance for Nota Vista to respond, but if they use some of that option, and they have shown some wrinkles of it throughout the latter portion of this excellent drive that started back at their own 37, that can really keep a Braves defense on their heels.
All right, so they'll talk it over. And Ken Mushinski, in his third season here, he's won 2/3 of his 27 games, 18 wins and 9 losses. In 2018, 7-4, finished third in the River Valley League. It's a team that's returning 5 offensive starters. They've got their 2 top running backs, as well as Dante Roby and Brian Alvarenga. It's a balanced team with some good wide receivers. We'll need a lot of that today.
Yeah, there's a look at Ramona right there. Ken Mushinski, who leads those troops in the whites for the Rams, he guided King to what remains really their only trip to the CIF Southern Section semifinals. He has been a successful coach during his near 2 decades reigning in CIF football as a head coach.
Big play this, 4th and goal from the 4, and it will be Diego Muniz out of the shotgun, and this time he'll go right back to Roby. He punches it in, touchdown for Dante Roby Jr. And Ramona back in business late in the second quarter. A 4-yard touchdown run for Dante Roby, who rushes for his 12th touchdown of the season. And I tell you what, Nick, it's exactly what they needed.
Incredible run from Roby, as that extra point is good. It's 14-7. Christian, they went 63 yards down the field. Incredible drive from Ramona. It began with that critical pass play on the outside of Cornejo.
Yeah, they really changed it up, showed some different variation in the attack, even a keeper that time from Muniz, who played a big part. Remember, this is his first year as the starter, as Brandon Osiande has moved on. And I'll tell you what, he did a great job of leading this march, and they were up against it in the first half, but it's that late breaker from Dante Roby all the way down to the 16-yard line that set it up.
Yeah, 26 yards on that carry for Roby. They moved the chains once on 3rd down. This was a 4th down conversion moved by Ramona. The Rams went heavy with Roby throughout that possession, and on the 4-yard touchdown scamper, kudos goes to that sensational offensive line. There's, of course, a run for no gain where Nota Vista brought in the heat. But throughout that drive, you could see the Rams start to establish the offensive line. They won the battle at the point of attack. Roby could have had a score there on that 3rd and goal if he didn't trip over either the turf monster or his own quarterback's knee or foot. Incredible drive. It was 15 plays, 63 yards. Rams back in the game.
Low roller for Jesse Carvajal. Bus one all the way up past the 50-yard line, down at the 46. Miguel Villa and Ramona thought they were being clever, but it could come back to haunt them.
Yeah.
Less than 28 seconds left, and you wouldn't put it past Nota Vista to punch another one in here before the break.
You also wouldn't put it past them to score before the break using only the ground game. Coming into this contest, they averaged just under 7 yards a run to the Braves in their all red. And Nota Vista also, when they do pass, get big chunk plays from their quarterback, Daniel Gonzalez.
So it will be from the 47, and a rare throw this time as it's batted up. The pass was intended for Christian Gerardo. Kent Batdorf said is playing great, but rare time we've seen. In fact, the first time tonight we've seen Gonzalez go to the throw, and it was just batted down by the number 10, Danye Romaine.
Yeah, go figure that when they go to a pass, Romaine is ready for it. They had only went 29 straight runs to begin this contest, and now a timeout is called. Ken Bettendorf, not only did we talk to him before the game, but our very own Jeff Gorham, terrific weekly show where he interviews the head coaches of the team that we're going to feature on Riverside TV's Game of the Week. And, I mean, he's just an incredible man, and I am by no stretch surprised one bit that he is succeeding yet again this year in Nota Vista.
It was a real great interview that Jeff had with him, and he said, you know, Jeff asked him, hey, what brings you back year after year, this being his 26th year? And he says, you know,
Incredible.
It's not about the money because I put in about 5,000 to 7,000 hours in which I haven't been paid. It's about these kids. It's about making good people better.
Well, he might be saying that because he wants to eventually get paid for that work. And I wouldn't blame him.
Says 2nd and 10 from the 47. They show throw. Pass caught complete by Elaine all the way down to the 38-yard line, 28-yard line, and a gain of 19 on the play.
Who knew that Elaine could catch the football? That was something special for their running back, and a late flag has been thrown. Like, they must have seen something, did the officials. It appeared to be clean formation. Incredible catch by Elaine.
Right across the middle and using every inch of that 6-foot frame. So we'll see what the referee sorts out for us. And they're starting to change things up just a little bit here on their 3rd drive of the night.
So Ramona brought 7. Elaine split as the slot receiver runs a seam route, and he was matched up on a linebacker, Dante Roby, who is an incredible player on offense, just one step behind, and that's the matchup that we have seen throughout tonight. Elaine, the Notre Vista running back, against Ramona's Dante Roby. Both of them have been incredible. Both have scored touchdowns and have been key difference makers and maybe the most important player on their team in this first half.
1st and 10. This one down to the 30. Sits up nicely for Gonzalez with 15 seconds left. Over, and they go for the same play. Hit that seam route once again, but pass incomplete, intended for Elaine. So that will bring up 2nd and 10 with just about 13 seconds left.
Yeah, the quarterback got crushed. There's Gonzalez, a Scott-free runner across the left edge. The linebacker for Ramona comes in unevaded to the quarterback, Keto Davis, and that really cost them an opportunity because Gonzalez, with a clean pocket, most likely delivers a touchdown to Elaine. And that is the sort of thing we talked about with Ken Battendorf. The blocking has been significant for them. While the offensive line has been solid this year, he believes that if with more practice, they can become an even better offensive line and don't miss those open rushers.
They only throw it 42.5 yards per game. And Gonzalez once again dropping back into the pocket, gets some pressure. Once again, it's Elaine, reaches out and just off the fingertips of the talented sophomore, and that will bring up 3rd down.
Well, they're 3 for 7 on 3rd down, so they are more than capable, even with a perfect 4th down rating, of having 2 more plays to get into field goal range. Roby and Elaine, that's been the incredible matchup throughout this first half. This time, the win goes to Ramona on that 2nd down throw.
So 7.5, 7.4 on the clock to be precise. It'll be 3rd and 10 from 30 yards out, and this is going to be an interesting call.
Right, it certainly is. I would say, I mean, if I were the Braves, I would go ground. That's been your bread and butter throughout the year. Gonzalez launched the 17-yarder earlier to Elaine, but even if you gain 6 or 7 here, a 4th down try to the end zone or even a field goal could go a long way in this first half.
So we'll see what they draw up here. One in the backfield. Gonzalez up against it. 3rd and long. 3-step drop, looks up, and way overthrown this time, and this will bring up 4th down. The pass intended for the number 5, Christian Gerardo.
Yeah, I simply would have gone ground on that 3rd and 10. I mean, Daniel Gonzalez has been serviceable when asked to throw the ball, but Ramona saw it coming. They ran a blitz, but all of their corners drifted into coverage. There's 3 Rams on 2 receivers for Notre Vista. Even with a perfect throw from Gonzalez, that most likely is incomplete anyways. That could have been a better run play than anything, but they still are in position with 1 more play here to attempt a field goal.
We'll see what they decide. Fernando Salcedo is longest.
That may have been a 4th down stop.
It was a 4th down, so
never mind here, folks.
So they'll take over 1st and 10 for Ramona. And once again, they'll go right back to the run. It could be the final draw. And it's a good burst right up the guts by Alvarenga. And it'll be pushed all the way back to the 40-yard line. So that will do it. Halftime, and a good one here. Tell you what, it's been all about the running game of Eddie Elaine. However, you got to give credit to Dante Roby and this visiting Ramona Ram team, who are not going to go down without a fight.
Yeah, that really was an impressive drive to begin the game. The first half was really sparked by that possession from Eddie Elaine on the first drive where they go 25 plays, 80 yards. They chewed up nearly 14 minutes of the clock. Elaine had 11 of those runs and paved the way for Norte Vista to take a 14-0 lead late in this first half.
Yes, indeed. It's a good one here in the River Valley League opener. It's halftime here at Zach Earp Stadium, and the home team, Norte Vista, up 14-7 over Ramona.
Here in California, citrus is a part of our lives every day. But what if it all just disappeared? A devastating plant disease called Huanglongbing, or HLB, spread by the Asian citrus psyllid, is fatal for citrus trees, and it might be found in your own backyard. That's why it's important that we all do our part to keep California's citrus safe. Don't let California citrus disappear. Visit CaliforniaCitrusThreat.org to learn more.
Got junk too big for the trash can? Then call 311 to schedule a bulky item pickup. Riverside residents get 2 free pickups a year, but you gotta follow 3 simple rules. Bulky items must be curbside by 5:30 a.m. the day of your pickup, light enough for 2 people to lift, and the total volume can't be larger than 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot. If you got a lot of junk, check out our bulky item and e-waste drop-off events held several times each year. Bulky item pickup. Call us today and we'll haul it away.
I'm a police officer pilot. I've been with the city for a little over 10 years. I've always loved aviation and I've always loved law enforcement, so to be able to combine the two together, two of the things that I love the most. I've got experience in a background in law enforcement, so to couple that with aviation and fly every day and still do police work, that's why I'm out here. Work day shift 7 to 5. I usually get here a little before 7. We'll get an email on what occurred the previous evening, so I'll go through those. I'll also check temporary flight restrictions, so I'll check those and see if there's any in the area that we can't fly into. And then we'll go out and do a pre-flight on the helicopter. We'll walk around, check everything, make sure everything's functioning properly. And sometimes we're up for patrol. Other times when we're here on the ground, we'll respond to an incident. If a vehicle pursuit or a foot pursuit or something goes out, we'll launch for that. If there's a fire in the river bottom, we'll go up and provide air support for the firemen on the ground. Code enforcement uses us for their green pool flights, so we'll go up and we'll look for green pools. We're assisting a lot of different departments. I'm a 4th generation Riverside resident out of 5 generations now. My family has set roots here back in the 1900s, and I've got a connection to Riverside, so family and friends are here, and it's nice to give back to the community that you've been brought up in. So, if I were to describe my job in 2 words, it would be uniquely awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. I get to fly a helicopter and do something that I really enjoy doing, at the same time protecting and serving a community that I grew up in. So.
Los Novillos is a Mexican market located on Main Street, not far from downtown Riverside. The name means young male bull, which is typically used for its high-quality meat. Alberto Murillo is the owner.
Been in the business for years and years, almost 20 years in the city of Riverside. And always, since I started working, I always dreamed like one day I'll have my own business. And since I'm being in Riverside for so many years, I said, well, this is a good opportunity. So I asked a couple friends, and my brother, hey, this is the opportunity of our life. Do we take it or not? And they're like, yes, go for it.
The store features a good selection of fruits, vegetables, canned goods, meats, and seafood. There's also several kinds of cheese, salsa, and guacamole. Loyal customers who shop here say it's because of their fresh food and great customer service.
I hike at Mount Rubidoux, and I go here every morning to buy fresh ceviche. It's a great market, and they're just gonna get bigger and better, so come shop here.
Usually I'll come in here to buy lunch, but if I need anything for my house, any supplemental groceries, I come in here and I buy everything. It's fresh.
Alberto says he trains his staff to treat customers like family. Mercedes Duran is one of his cashiers.
Just asking with how are you doing, that makes a really big difference. And just being in a small market, you kind of notice who's who and what are they doing. Sometimes we'll even ask them, like, what are you cooking today? Are you doing spaghetti? Are you doing carne asada? Or, that makes a difference, yeah.
I wanted the people, when they came, I wanted them to feel like welcome, like, oh, this is my house, like this is family. And that's what I wanted to tell all my customers, that they're not just customers, they're guests for me. They're guests, they're my guests, they're my family all the time. When they came, if I know their names, I tell them about their names and everything. I shake hands all day long, and I think they like it.
My name's Lovey Jung, and I work for the City of Riverside Fire Department. I've been here for about 7 years now, and I'm a firefighter paramedic on Engine 1. When I was younger, I actually wanted to be a firefighter, but I ended up getting sidetracked and went and played softball for the Olympic team in 2004 and 2008, and when I retired in 2009, that's when I decided I wanted to switch over to become a firefighter. Usually when I come in, the first thing I do is I check my personal protective equipment, and then I'll also check the medical equipment. Being a paramedic, I have to make sure all my medications are there and that my equipment's working properly, so that when we go on a scene to a medical aid, that everything's in working form and that we're professional on scene. If I were to describe my job in one word, it would be adventurous. Every day is different from day to day, depending on the training or the type of calls that we run. Some days we might go on more DUIs, or some days we might go on more traffic accidents. So every day that I come to work is going to be completely different from the day before and the next day. I get to work with a group of people that I enjoy working with and having that camaraderie that I missed from being an athlete. But now, being a mom, I want to be that role model for my daughter to, show her you can be independent and you can have a job that you want to work in, whether it's a male-dominated career or not. And I want her to understand that as she grows up.
We need to make sure our seniors are safe with consistent, proper nutrition and healthy foods delivered to their homes.
Elderly patients who do not have proper nutrition have a higher risk of irregular heart rhythms and sepsis.
Riverside's Meals on Wheels program can always use your help. If you can volunteer or donate, you can visit our website and get more information how you can participate, and we thank you.
Do you have unneeded prescription medications and don't know what to do with them? CVS Pharmacy and the Riverside Police Department have a safe and secure drop box located inside the Magnolia Police Station. This free and anonymous service keeps dangerous prescriptions out of the hands of children and abusers while protecting the environment through proper disposal. Most over-the-counter and prescription medications are safe to drop off. However, there are some restrictions. Items such as thermometers, inhalers, aerosol cans, ointments, lotions or liquids, and needles and sharps must be disposed of elsewhere. And please, residential clients only. This service is not for businesses to dispose of their medical waste. Help the City of Riverside keep dangerous prescriptions out of the hands of children and abusers by disposing your unneeded drugs in a safe, secure, and environmentally friendly way. You might have noticed new traffic lights popping up around Riverside, and the Public Works Department wants you to see how they work. First of all, you'll notice the new left turn signals consist of 4 lights: a red arrow, a solid yellow arrow, a flashing yellow arrow, and a green arrow. So how does traffic flow work with these new signals? First, we have the left green arrow, which indicates you have permission to turn left, but oncoming traffic must stop. A solid yellow arrow indicates that the light is about to turn red, and you must be prepared to stop, or if you're already in the intersection, complete your turn when safe. A solid red arrow means you must stop. No left-hand turns are allowed. When the signal changes to a flashing yellow arrow, turns are still permitted. However, you must yield to oncoming traffic and pedestrians before proceeding with your turn. These new signals are being introduced nationwide and represent a safer and more efficient way to handle left-turn traffic at busy intersections. The City of Riverside encourages you to learn more about these new traffic signals. And if you have questions, call 311, Riverside's one-stop shop for answers. The City of Riverside has launched Riverside Alert, a mass notification service that allows emergency crews to alert you in the case of an emergency, potential hazard, or safety concern that may directly affect you. When you sign up, you'll receive a message on the voice or text communication method of your choosing. Here's how it works. Begin by creating an account on riversidealert.com. Once you've entered your information, you'll be listed to receive alerts. All information you provide will be kept strictly confidential. Riverside Alert allows you to confirm that you've received an alert to prevent the same alert from coming through again. You can also choose to receive notifications about events that may affect you or your loved one's workplace, home, school, and more. Go to riversidealert.com and sign up today.
The ones you see on the racks here and stuff are personal, you know, and I take a long time doing it, make sure, you know, there's lathe work and other stuff in there, and it's not just bandsaw cutting out and whatever. These things, it takes 3 or 4 days at a time to make one, and with the train it took probably a week. People say, you know, you can sell these. You go on eBay or whatever and sell them. And no, that'd be like work. I'm retired, you know. When I was in Fleetwood, they had a charity called Rosie's Kids. And they used to do little fundraisers and stuff all year long to get enough money to buy clothing and food and stuff at Christmas time. And so I thought, I suggested, well, maybe you could throw a toy in or two, you know, for the kids. One year we ended up with over 600 toys, and we gained somewhere 5,000 or more. I forget exact figure, but we helped a whole bunch of kids, families and stuff. I've been giving out toys for kids and charities and stuff for years, and I know when I was a kid, I had a stick, you know. I grew up in the Depression, so in Brooklyn. And that was tough, and I can remember that, and I didn't have anything, so I want to make sure that almost any kid I see, I give a toy. I do this in sort of on the side to give to kids and see what their reactions are. And I always tell them there's no batteries because they're always playing with the electronics. And tell them that it's going to cost them a smile and a thank you, and I always get it. I just enjoy doing it. I just like to see the kids light up. That's it.
Tucked away in a large warehouse off of Columbia Avenue in Riverside is one of the most unique and highly specialized businesses in all of California. The company designs, modifies, outfits, fabricates, and installs a vast array of custom equipment while turning cars, vans, and trucks into high-tech emergency vehicle. Welcome to West Coast Lights and Sirens.
We've been in business since 2007. We have roughly 35 employees in a 32,000 square foot building.
Danny and I founded West Coast Lights and Sirens in 2007. He had a background in racing, off-road racing, and custom fabrication.
Well, we build cars from San Diego to the Arizona border, into LA, up into Ventura. We have about 80 to 85 different agencies here in Southern California. Most of our builds are those normal patrol cars, but we do get into special builds. We built a special van for crimes against the internet for LAPD. We're going to build another one for the homicide. We build command center units for HEMET. There's a bunch of other things other than just patrol cars that we do here at West Coast Lights and Sirens. The vehicles come in, they're pursuit rated by Ford Motor Company and Chevy, so they have to go through extreme testing for their brakes, acceleration, and things like that before we get them. But when we upfit them with bumpers that'll protect them from intersection crashes, lights that keep the officers safe in intersections, light bars that help them search for things. Each individual city has a different spec or a different configuration that they build their vehicles on for the specifics of their cities. The attention to detail, the quality, the throughput, and the professionalism. We take extreme care and extreme quality so that your vehicles are repeatable. Every one of them is identical so that officers are safe in our vehicles. The biggest challenges we have is these agencies, there's quite a few of them, they need these vehicles in a timely manner. So they're always there's always a great push to get these vehicles built and in service as quick as we can for the local agencies. West Coast Lights and Sirens builds between 25 and 30 vehicles a week, roughly about 100 a month.
The owners also place the success of the business squarely on the shoulders of their dedicated, loyal, and highly trained group of employees.
My employees are the best. We're very happy. They are very appreciated, and I hope we show it.
Our employees are the key to our operation. Me and Patricia own the place, but these gentlemen in this building do the work. They're the ones that should get the credit for the quality that are done. We are just giving them the tools to do their job.
I absolutely love my job. I've been here for 13 years. I've been working with Danny for 13 years. It's like a family, you know, it's private business and everybody's really good. It's like working with a bunch of your friends. A lot of people don't even know that we're located here. When you tell people what you do as far as work goes, I mean, nobody ever thinks of this as a field that people are in. It's kind of, I guess, out of the public eye, kind of goes on behind the scenes.
I would like to say thank you to all our clients. They're wonderful, they're loyal, and they are very open and welcome to come to our facility and tour and review what's going on here.
Profound emotion is also evident while discussing Riverside and the work with clients whose sole mission is to ensure community safety.
I was born and raised in Riverside, and the fact that we get to build our local law enforcement vehicles brings a lot of pride to myself. A lot of the people that we employ here live in Riverside, and these are the very people that keep us safe at night while we're sleeping. It's a wonderful place to live. It's a wonderful place to start a business, and we're very happy to be here. Best part of my job is interacting with the local agencies and actually giving our younger family members places to work in future.
Is that okay?
The Community Police Review Commission was created to promote public confidence in the professionalism and accountability of the City of Riverside's Police Department. The commission consists of an all-civilian panel of members from across the city. The commission's roles include advising the mayor and city council on all police relations issues, reviewing and investigating officer-involved deaths, receiving complaints and conducting hearings on misconduct against sworn Riverside police officers, making policy suggestions and bringing community concerns to the attention of the Riverside Police Department. If you're interested in learning more about how you can serve or for information on the commission, visit riversideca.gov/CPRC.
Here in California, citrus is a part of our lives every day. But what if it all just disappeared? A devastating plant disease called Huanglongbing, or HLB, spread by the Asian citrus psyllid, is fatal for citrus trees, and it might be found in your own backyard. That's why it's important that we all do our part to keep California citrus safe. Don't let California citrus disappear. Visit CaliforniaCitrusThreat.org to learn more.
Got junk too big for the trash can? Then call 311 to schedule a bulky item pickup. Riverside residents get 2 free pickups a year, but you gotta follow 3 simple rules. Bulky items must be curbside by 5:30 a.m. the day of your pickup, light enough for 2 people to lift, and the total volume can't be larger than 8 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot. If you got a lot of junk, check out our bulky item and e-waste drop-off events held several times each year. Bulky item pickup. Call us today and we'll haul it away.
Welcome back. It's the Riverside TV Game of the Week here at high school football. And it was Norda Vista who had a great running game here in the first half. Christian Miles alongside Nick Rice and Eddie Elaine getting the job done early, Nick.
Well, that was the end to a 25-play, 80-yard drive, and a critical interception earlier in the second quarter allowed for the Braves to put together another sensational drive as he was marked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. The Braves wind up going 4 plays, 52 yards, and this incredible touchdown run from Joseph Lucky of Norda Vista.
And great setup play on the INT, and then he punches it in with a nice little run. However, you got to give credit where credit is due. And how about Diego Muniz linking up, that time with David Corneo, part of a really good drive for the Rams.
Yeah, they went 15 plays, 63 yards, and smashed the Braves in the mouth. That scamper there gained 26 for Roby, and he finishes it off with a touchdown run, leaving just a few ticks to go for the Braves.
And a much-needed strike. His name is Jesse Carvajal on that last return. It was a good return there from Carvajal, who really added an extra dimension. Then things started to get aired out a bit. Good deflection that time from Ramona's Adrian Monge. And then it would be Gonzalez forced to go to the air, and he picks out a lane for a nice gain right down the middle.
Yeah, 17 yards there. Norda Vista, however, would turn it over on downs on that final drive of the first half, and the Braves go into the locker room up 14-7. Don't forget, folks, joining us here on Riverside TV for the Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. It returns Saturday, November 2nd at White Park in downtown Riverside from 1 to 10 p.m. It's the 16th annual anniversary of this traditional Mexican festival, and it's held to celebrate with food. I'm hungry right now. I could go for this tonight. The Dia de los Muertos, also with art, music, dance, and most importantly, the beautifully decorated and personalized altars honoring loved ones that have passed away. For more information, call 951-784-3111. 951-784-3111, or visit there on the bottom left, riversidedayofthedead.com.
I'm in. Sounds like a great event. We got a great event tonight. It's the Riverside TV High School Football Game of the Week. And a big one here, Ramona Rams in the River Valley League opener trailing Norte Vista. These are two of the big three in this conference. This one has heavy title implications already on day one of conference play. A lot on the line, and it will be Norte Vista, and Fernando Salcedo kicking us off and catching this one just inside the 13-yard line is Ramona, and stopped cold on that little run back is Raymond Valdez. Not much going there, so a gain of about 5 on the return, and we'll see Ramona take over. I tell you what, I'm really impressed with the character from Ken Mashinsky and these Ramona Rams. They could have been overwhelmed by this immense running game from Norte Vista, but they came back and punched one in and gave the Braves a taste of their own medicine. We'll see what's in store here in half number 2.
Yeah, it should be interesting. After this play, I've got some scores for you as well, Christian, across the River Valley League. So that'll also pay into exactly who will improve to 1-0 in league play after this week. But the Rams are coming fresh off an impressive drive, as you alluded to, 15 plays, 63 yards, and the scoring run late in the half to Dante Roby.
So a drop for a short loss that time. Out of the shotgun and nothing doing that time for Dante Roby. Drop for a loss.
2-yard loss. We've got 2 Riverside TV games of the week where Norco is currently playing Corona, if I'm not mistaken. Or King, I'm sorry. And our 2 of our Riverside TV games of the week. We have doubleheaders this Friday and next Friday as well. Riverside TV.
Muniz throws it forward, pass caught complete. Not enough for the first down, about 5 yards short, but a good grab once again. Good job airing it out, and once again it's Muniz.
Yeah, impressive throw from Muniz. He rarely threw the ball in the first half, firing it into 3 defenders. He was 2 of 4 with just 25 yards, but the significant play in the first half was the interception he threw.
Oh, and he took a hit that time on 3rd and 3, flattened just past the first down marker. My goodness, he was a keeper, and he took his lumps that time.
Yeah, but moves the sticks. So quick update across the River Valley League. Patriots, they have trounced Los Sierra right now. 48-0 for Patriot at home in their River Valley League opener. Of course, Norte Vista lead this football game 14-7. And Jurupa Valley, who I mentioned, 0-10, 3 straight years. They have 3 wins to begin the season. They're down big against the Trojans of visiting Hillcrest as they lead 35-6 as Hillcrest on the road.
And Dante Roby getting his lines crossed with Diego Muniz. So they'll bring up 2nd and long. Just a gain of 1 that time from the Rams. It's been hit or miss at times, but a big ask is Muniz operating mostly out of the shotgun tonight. The 6'1", 165-pound junior quarterback has a completion rate at nearly 64%. He'll drop into the pocket, step forward, good stuff that time, and knee down there on the 40-yard line. So this will be just a gain of about 4 on that one, and they'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Rams.
Well, for those of you just joining us, this game could really be summed up into a tale of 2 quarters. The Braves began the football game with a 25-play drive, all of them runs. They went 80 yards and scored on a short yardage plunge from Eddie Alain. But Ramona hung in, led by their quarterback Diego Muniz and a sensational Dante Roby.
Once again, Muniz on the 3rd and 4, and he had a receiver. It was Roby wide open, but he couldn't connect. And this will bring up a concerning 4th and 4 for the Ramona Rams.
Yeah, this may be the first punt we see of the ball game. Roby, who has yet to make a catch in this game, he has been an incredible runner. Muniz had him. That could have been a touchdown, but he overshoots him that time. As Norte Vista, who had been punched in the mouth in the second quarter by Roby in the ground game. Boy, Roby was at over 7 yards a carry for most of that first half, which is above his season average. He really punished the Notre Vista defense, and they had a shot to Ramona to cash in with a touchdown throw there.
So it'll be the punt from Adrian Mohan. He gets a good bounce.
Returner ran away
past
there.
The 15 and all the way down to the 11-yard line. So a good punt from that. So a 49-yard gain on the punt for Ramona, and not good field position to start here for Norte Vista, but it really hasn't been a problem because we know what we're going to see from them.
Yeah, we know what we'll see from both sides. First half, 54 snaps for these two offenses, 45 runs, 9 passes. And most of those passes came from Daniel Gonzalez on the final drive of the first half of the Braves.
So 1st and 10 from the 12 is the market for Danny Gonzalez. He was 9 for 11 last week. And once again, it goes right back to Eddie Elaine, who busts one all the way forward to about the 18-yard line. So a gain of about 6 for the sophomore.
Well,
All River League as a freshman last year. This kid's future is as bright as it gets.
Certainly does, but Ken Mushinski has to be thrilled about how the Ramona defense held him in check in the first half. He gained 7 yards on his first run of this half and last half, but since then he's been bottled up about 2.5 yards a carry so far in the ball game for Elaine, as the Braves have had to lean on some of their other ball carriers.
So 2nd and 4, and they'll push it straight forward. Once again, it's Elaine on the short gainer close to the first stand mark. And it'll bring up 3rd and short for the Braves.
I mean, this is a methodical offense, certainly. And Notre Vista is a team that shows some incredible poise in these 3rd and 4th down situations. They converted 4 straight 4th downs in the first half, and they have the ability to move the chains here on 3rd and short.
3rd and 1 for Gonzalez, and once again he's going to go to Carvajal, busts one up. Oh, and it's Jesse Carvajal who's got some space past the 50 all the way down to the 30. No one is going to catch Jesse Carvajal, all 5'7" of him. A huge touchdown. What a run from Jesse Carvajal.
79 yards, and that just might be a backbreaker in the 3rd quarter for Ramona. The Rams offense was marching on the first drive of the second half knowing a touchdown would tie, and the subsequent 2 minutes from the overthrown football from Muniz to Roby, which led to a punt instead of a touchdown to tie for Ramona, winds up costing it's a 14-point swing the Braves. If this play is wiped out, extra point was no good there.
And the whistle had gone just before ball was snapped, much to Fernando Salcedo's relief. Here's a kid that's been perfect all season on his PAT attempts. In fact, his kicking game, including the field goals, perfect. 9 for 9.
I'm sure he knows that. I'm sure he's very much aware of that streak going on right now.
And we'll see what they draw up here. But what a run. A 79-yard buster from Jesse Carvajal.
They're going to go for it.
So we'll see. Going for the 2-point conversion. He'll go out of the eye with Elaine as the back, and he goes up and over the top and in for 2. So Carvajal does all the hard work, and Elaine goes up and over the top, showing out the entire repertoire, and it's a 15-point advantage here for the Braves on home turf.
I mean, that is just the result of Notre Vista, and most likely the most important drive of the game was their first, where they punished the Ramona defense, and the Rams looked exhausted down the stretch of that drive. Elaine started it off with a 7-yard run, and right away Notre Vista responded with one of the most incredible runs of the season after this short carry from the Notre Vista tailback, Jesse Carvajal.
Well, he just softened up that back line, and Carvajal says thank you very much. A 79-yard dash for the house.
And Dante Roby is one of the fastest players on the team for Ramona. He is a blistering runner, and he was outrun that time from Carvajal. From the moment the gun was fired off and the guys crossed that track and field starting line. That was an incredible sprint from Carvajal.
So an 11-yard return for Raymond Valdez after the return. So the Rams once again an uphill climb They've been up against it before. They've answered the bell before, and we'll see what they have up their sleeve because they know it's going to take something special. They knew that they were 5-0, but it wasn't going to be an easy task tonight, and they are finding it out firsthand as they will take over possession, ball on their own 21. And once again, Diego Muniz looking to engineer something positive. He'll leave it on that short handoff. So once again, they'll go to their usual preferred weapon of choice in Dante Roby with yet another carry. And here's a guy last year, you and I were talking about this at halftime. It was a season low, 38 yards on 10 carries for him against Norte Vista last time out. He's answered the bell himself with a big, big game tonight.
Yeah, nearing 100 yards is Roby. This time he has really nowhere to go. But, I mean, Ramona, for a team that it seems every year is the stepchild of Norte Vista as of late right now. I mean, this last year, their season really came down to their loss of the Braves, and this go-around, if they lose, it'd be hard for them to come back. This has to be frustrating for head coach Ken Mushinski, who knows this team is good enough to win in this league.
3rd and 8, and once again, Muniz looks left, pass caught complete, enough for a first down on forward progress, and it should move the chains here for Ramona. Gutsy play. The kid showed a lot of poise and composure, and the pass completed for the short game, but enough for the first down.
And there's Cornejo yet again. I mean, he is about as good a route runner as this team has. Just a sensational delivery as well from the quarterback who checked into the game. And for Ramona, they're going to need more of a passing attack if they hope to win this one.
Well, we'll see. Oh, and this one.
That's Roby who lost it.
Roby who took the snap himself. He played some backup quarterback last year. Will it be classified as a fumble? That'll be the ruling here. His arm was in motion. It just slipped out of his hand. A flag on the play.
And that is a significant loss. We will see if Ramona signal caller Diego Muniz returns to the lineup. But if he's not out there, the passing game takes a significant hit.
We'll see. So 3 wide on the right. And it will be Roby, the keeper. He'll take it himself, says, hey, let me take matters into my own hands. Busted all the way up to midfield. First down from the 50-yard line. And a gain of 18 for Dante Roby, who says, hey, I can do it all.
The passing game takes a hit, but it doesn't matter for Roby. He is nearing a first down a run in this football game. He fakes the handoff. He did about a half handoff before he takes it himself. Dante Roby, this is, I would say, every play needs to be the player that Ken Mushinski and Ramona relies upon offensively. If Norte Vista is going to give up this lead, Roby is the one that is, at least as he has proved so far today, that's going to will the Rams back.
He and Cornejo trying to engineer yet another comeback and kind of take a page out of the Norte Vista handbook. Last year, remember, they were down late in the third and end up winning 43-29 and at Ramona. So timeout on the field as they talk this one over here, and just hold the phone. Just when you think that Norte Vista is going to run away with this, Ramona pops up with another big gain.
Yeah, these are 2 veteran head coaches, excellent guys, both with over a decade and a half of high school coaching experience. So they, I'm sure, gathered the troops. Ramona's Ken Mushinski, I'm sure, got his team back corralled and ready to go for what is maybe the most significant drive of the second half as the Rams trail by 15. And then speaking to Ken Battendorf of Norte Vista, I mean, this is just an incredible man. He says that, I mean, the Braves won the league championship last year. Norte Vista 9-3, had a successful campaign, won a playoff game as well in 2018. But he says his biggest success last year and years prior has been his alumni base returning to the school. And just the impact that they make in the community is something he hangs his hat on as much as a 22-7 lead here in the third quarter.
You know, they'll have an injured player right now who's being tended to by the medical staff. You know, some of this alumni have really stepped up to the plate in this local area. Mike Langford, of course, gave $10,000 nearly annually in contributions toward this program. In fact, it was Battendorf saying himself about 12 years ago or so that Mike Langford stepped up and bought cleats for each and every one of these Norte Vista players. And then, of course, you got to think about Frank Stoudemire, who goes out and solicits and gets those donations in the community to keep this proud program running for Norte Vista. It's a community effort, everybody pitching in, and indeed they've really reaped the success. Well, Gilbert Garcia will limp off, the 5'11 senior.
And Coach had some words for Gilbert Garcia, huh?
He said, hey, you know, I knew he would be good, and he's lived up exactly to what we expected out of him.
Has.
And that says a lot, I think, about Garcia, because here's a guy who's a senior, and you know Batdorf's expectations are high, and he's meeting them under that pressure.
Wow, really incredible knowing the Braves every year are in the mix for a league championship. And they, to their credit, Norte Vista last year found themselves down to Ramona, came back and won that critical football game that really catapulted them to the playoffs. And Norte Vista looked prepared tonight, certainly have so far at least.
So after that 18-yard run from Roby, 1st and 10 from midfield out of the gun, and it's Roby takes it himself, flicks one out wide to the right, pass intercepted by Buddy Wilson Jr., and Buddy Wilson Jr. is going to take it to the house. 50-yard return, and a big one once again for the Braves. The theme tonight was big, and I tell you what, it doesn't get any bigger than that for Buddy Wilson Jr., the 5'10 senior, with a huge pick. Pick 6 for Norte Vista.
First interception of the year for Wilson, and it might be the most important in their hopes of making the playoffs. This is a critical game for that. Roby saw nothing there's no running lanes up the field, and makes a pass that I'm sure he'd love to have back. Incredible effort from Christian Gerardo of Norte Vista. He forced Dante Roby to slide outside of his comfort zone towards the numbers, and Roby delivers that pass where he didn't see Wilson at the start of it. He leaks out late, and Roby, just a porous decision. He has been thrust in at quarterback with Diego Muniz out for the Ramona Rams here in the third quarter. And for as successful as the second half has been for the Rams, they've manufactured a couple first downs here. The critical turnovers have reared their ugly head here in the third quarter.
Second interception tonight. A touchdown is the verdict as we await the extra point from Fernando Salcedo. He went for 2 last time, up by 21 right now, looking to open it up to a nice 22-point advantage.
All right, well, for Dante Roby, other than a big kickoff return he had last year against Norte Vista, we alluded to it earlier, he struggled in the game a year ago, and the Ramona running back took it upon his shoulders to lead the Rams in what they hope to be an upset win tonight. And he provided an incredible first half performance rushing. He averaged nearly 8 yards a carry in the first 2 quarters of this football game, but now thrust in at quarterback along with the running duties. It's a lot to ask for this youngster, and he makes a critical mistake on the interception, which leads to 7 points.
No mistake this time for the third time tonight, Fernando Salcedo. So 29-7 here for Norte Vista with 4:15 left in the third. And it was an interesting option as it was Roby running the option offense and caught there, and great anticipation from Buddy Wilson Jr. Plays a lot at free safety and spends some time at wide receiver, but it's the defensive side that gets things done once again.
Yeah, and really a tough pill to swallow for Roby on that interception. Norte Vista, I mean, a sign of a great coach and a well-run organization, as it appears the Braves will be backed up on this kickoff, is their performance throughout the year. Do you improve every week? Do you play well off of a bye? Both of those answers have been with a resounding yes in favor of the Braves, and in large part it's due to their October scoring. A year ago, they outscored their opponents in October 196-50.
Wow.
None of their October games last year were all that close, except for the Ramona game. And the Braves, entering October, look like they're playing their best football
Short
of the year.
kick once again, and that one fielded at the 36-yard line. Not a bad little return inside Braves territory, all the way up to the 48-yard line.
And now Ramona, this may be the most important drive of the football game, and the Rams, knowing that this is maybe the most important game of the year in their hopes of not only making the playoffs but winning a conference championship, are down by 22. Notre Vista's defense has barely been on the field due to the excellent running from Eddie Elaine, Jesse Carvajal, and Joseph Lucky tonight for the Braves. And now the Ramona Rams are down their quarterback and forced with Dante Roby for their best runner to also be potentially their best thrower.
See if he continues to run that option. Oh, it was a bungled snap, and it took a deflection, and it's going to be recovered here by the Braves, and Oscar Godoy, the first man to it, the third turnover of the night. Back-to-back turnovers for the Ramona Rams as it all goes south, and it'll be the Braves taking over inside Ramona territory.
There's Chenard in motion, and he just runs a bit too fast across the line. The anticipated snap was supposed to happen before Chenard heads towards Roby, and the projected play was Roby takes the ball, either hands off to the sweeping Chenard and a receiver reverse, or goes with the run off play action. Instead, they were a step behind, and it winds up costing possession.
So first down from the 44. And once again, Elaine busted up. Oh, it's Eddie Elaine, and no one is going to catch the sophomore. He can do no wrong. It is all Braves here in the third quarter. Eddie Elaine with his second touchdown of the night. A 44-yard run for the super sophomore.
This has just been an avalanche now. Ramona is gassed. I mean, they've lost the hope, the energy, the enthusiasm of a game that appeared to be at least in contention in the second half. The significant play of this football game occurred on the opening drive of the third quarter. Diego Muniz, who is hurt and has yet to return the second half, or at least whether it's hurt or something, misses an open Dante Roby in what could have been a game-tying touchdown. The Braves take over. Instead of tied at 14, they're up 14-7. Then Notre Vista running back Jesse Carvajal rips off a long run. The rest is history. The Braves in an avalanche. They score on not just those long drives they had in the first half. This came on one play off the fumble. Chenal runs a step in front on the snap that was maybe a bit late. Who knows who's the big fault there, but it deflects into the hands of the Braves. And right away, the touchdown run from Eddie Elaine breaks this game wide open. The Braves appear to be running away with the third quarter here at home.
Eddie Elaine with another touchdown this season. Already with 12 on the campaign.
Wow.
Norte Vista really looking the part, and I'm sure it will raise the eyebrows around the River Valley League, most notably that of Hillcrest, which will face the Braves next Friday here at Zach Ertz Stadium. And a good return this time from Valdez.
It should be noted the Trojans of Hillcrest lead 35-8 in the fourth quarter at Jurupa Valley. So most likely, next week's matchup, Hillcrest and Norte Vista, will be a battle between undefeated teams. Meanwhile, the third matchup of the River Valley, Patriot leads 54-0 at home over La Sierra, the beginning of the fourth quarter of that ball game.
So all the way up to the 27-yard line.
I don't know if we have it, but maybe we could look at some of the schedule after this play. But next week, we will have the Norte Vista Hillcrest broadcast. And Christian, you're going to be right back doing this wonderful football team, the Braves, in battle next week against the Trojans.
Courageous run that time from Kevin Sanders, the 5'5" senior, takes it from Roby and gets a good gain all the way up to the 34-yard line. 35-yard line, so a gain of 8 and for second and short.
Right, for those of you just joining us, I mean, this score is a little bit misleading. I mean, yet again, the Rams, led by not just Dante Roby, but their plethora of running backs, they've established a solid ground game so far. However, the turnovers and the missed pass, I mean, I hate to harp on it, the missed pass for Muniz and what could have been a touchdown rumble for Dante Roby, those small plays turned what could have been a game tied at 14 into what is a 36-7 lead for the Braves.
No gain that time on the carry from Roby. 3rd and 1 from the 35, a short gain rather, and Roby will hand it off, and it's not going to be enough for the first down, and so we're looking at a 4th and short right now for the Rams, who have already reached a critical juncture here at the 2.5-minute mark in the third quarter.
Yeah.
expect. A big ask. No word on what the situation is with Diego Muniz, clearly missing their junior quarterback. And the reins have been handed over to Dante Roby. So it looks as though we'll see Adrian Monge back to punt for Ramona on 4th and 2 from the 35. No one back to receive here for Norte Vista. It's a high punt, and they'll just let it go. And it's bounced all the way down past the 30 to the 27-yard line.
So the Ramona Rams are down huge here. Other than just an incredible comeback, the Rams are going to drop this one. And this has been an issue over the recent years for Ken Mushinski. Ramona has missed the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years, despite having a winning record every year since 2014. Their issues hasn't been early in years. They're 5-0 coming into this game. Their issues has been closing the season with victories. They lost 2 straight as well to close out 2018.
So the Braves in the driver's seat. Elaine hits the pitch and swarmed by that defense, led by the number 99, Durden, 6'1" senior, at 220 pounds. Not much there that time for Eddie Elaine, proving he is human. This kid, incredible. He ran 7 times for 100 yards or more in 2018. He was a Southern Section first team all freshman, averaging nearly 7.5 yards per carry. He gets 4 that time, and that will bring up 2nd and 6 from the Braves 31. It was a little bit of a trick play, and it was. And taking the snap that time is Seth Vasquez, the backup quarterback who's come into the fray, and he gets a positive gain on that one. So they're pulling out all the tricks right now.
Yeah, that was certainly crafty. Faking a toss right and scrambling to the left for Seth Vasquez. These are some valuable snaps for some of these youngsters, the backups here late in the football game against the stout Ramona defense. Albeit they've given up 36, quite a bit of it has been due to turnovers here in the third quarter, miscues, but these are some important reps for Vasquez, the quarterback.
They only allow an average of 16 points per game, so that gives you an idea of what Norte Vista has achieved here tonight. On the carry that time, it'll be Albert Gonzalez. So the first carry tonight for the 5'9" senior, just his 3rd rush of the season, but enough for the first down for the Braves.
All right, this team averaged 7 yards a run coming into this game offensively. There's the big fellas up front, and they have been the most important part throughout the year of the Braves' success on offense.
First down from the 41. Once again, it's Vasquez, and Elaine goes all the way forward, past the 45, all the way up to the 48-yard line, a gain of 7 for the sophomore.
So we will see next week Norte Vista play Hillcrest, and Cameron Payne, who I had watched as the Trojans quarterback. Yes, Diego Muniz is a sensational thrower of the football for Ramona, but Cameron Payne is maybe the best quarterback I have seen all year on Riverside TV. His numbers have been just otherworldly. In 5 games, 67 completions, 966 yards, 8 touchdowns, 5 picks. Cameron Payne also has a touchdown run in his a dynamic scrambler as well. So next week, Norte Vista will have a tough test against the dual threat quarterback, every bit as good, if not better, than Diego Muniz of Ramona.
And what a night tonight.
Right, but the Braves defense looks in midseason form, so Cameron Payne will have his hands full next week.
It's gotten so good, they're even pulling out the ABBA tonight.
On homecoming.
The on-field music. Homecoming, we might add. Very good point, my friend. Homecoming tonight. Big night tonight here.
I'm trying to match your energy here in the booth. I'm trying my best.
It's the ABBA. It gets me up for the game.
Right. And whoever Zach Earp is, he also gets us up for this game.
2nd 10, ball to 41. As they switch ends and get set for the start of the 4th. Looks to be pretty close to beyond asking right now for Ramona, who came in with a brave face, showed a lot of character, returned the punches. Hey, in the midway through the 2nd quarter, only down by a touchdown. Mistakes plaguing them on 3 big turnovers tonight. And I tell you what, good teams capitalize, and that's exactly what the Braves have done.
This team looks so well coached, Notre Vista. They play their best football late in the season. They capitalize on turnovers. They look prepared off of a bye. And, I mean, Notre Vista looks like a team that they're going to run the ball, and they just will overpower you up front.
Vasquez on the pitch, and Elaine slammed right back on his back that time. Good stop.
Well, he was overpowered on that play. Bobby Villalobos was the one who threw him backwards.
Good stop.
Now that'll move the chains anyways for Notre Vista. We saw in that first half, or the Braves, that was an important juncture of the football game. But Notre Vista converted. It was 2 third downs and 3 fourth downs. I mean, that was an incredible drive. 25 plays, 80 yards. Took them just under 14 minutes. I mean,
they had the ball the entire first quarter.
Right, and into the second. I mean, for any defense, that would exhaust you, and Ramona's no exception.
Here's the junior quarterback, Vasquez, 5'10", 180, making his varsity debut.
If I'm not mistaken, the Braves have yet to punt.
They have not punted all evening.
That's crazy. I mean, very few collegiate or NFL teams can do that, let alone Notre Vista. Incredible.
Well, we've been talking about the offense here, and of course, a lot of the credit, and you got to give credit where credit is due here in Elaine, as there's a flag on this play. But how about the defense popping up here? The 2 picks tonight from Lucky, and then the 50-yard pick 6 from Buddy Wilson Jr. moments ago. They've really set the table for this talented offense. I tell you what, this Notre Vista team looks very well balanced, as it'll bring up 1st and 10 from the 46. Some movement on the line, and in motion will go Albert Gonzalez. Vasquez on the handoff to Elaine, trying to evade that first tackler, and it was a good wrap-up that time by the Ramona defense. There on the stop defensively was Donier Romain. So they'll bring up 2nd and 12. Notre Vista getting a chance to look at some of their second stringers here.
Let's take a look at that previous play. Just a simple gut run from Eddie Elaine. Terrific blocking up front. You can see the offensive line for Notre Vista just shove Ramona out of the way. But Elaine, in that short yardage run, saw more room to the right instead of going left, and it winds up maybe costing him more yards.
And Carvajal's broken one to the outside to the left-hand side, and here is Jesse Carvajal turning on the Jets, and no one's going to touch him. It'll be a touchdown on a 52-yard run for Jesse Carvajal on his 2nd big gainer of the night.
He hit the hole with a head of steam, and Carvajal was gone. He only had 5 runs for 12 yards in the first half. Didn't even see the field until here early in the 4th quarter, and rips off maybe the clincher of the night. The Braves, it seems they're up insurmountable 42-7 lead here in the 4th quarter. For those of you just joining us as well, we've got another blowout in the Riverside TV dual head the other game. Norco's up 49-6 in the 3rd quarter over King, with John Ramey and Jeff Gorham on the call of that football game at our other city Riverside contest on Riverside TV. Incredible run.
An incredible score line as well. Not what Ramona was expecting. Remember, this is a Ramona team that averages 34.5 points per game. They're 5-0 coming in, and it gives you an idea of the magnitude and the power of this Norte Vista team, who is just handling their business tonight.
Yeah, they went ground to the Braves throughout that entire drive and capped it off with this toss to Carvajal. And the Rams, they had 2 players in the backfield to make the stop. None of them could. Number 48, Keto Davis, and number 99 for Ramona as well in Dolden. He just simply, they both were there converging on the ball carrier. In the 1st and 2nd quarter, they most likely make that stop, or at least slow down Carvajal. Not so much in the 4th for an exhausted Rams defense.
So back to catch will be Jonathan Zamora. Takes it all the way up to the 23-yard line.
And that's where they'll take over. Also, quick final score update. The Warriors of Patriot have improved to 1-0. They have blown out La Sierra incredible game, 54-0, a win for Patriot over La Sierra. Halloween Fest, it's October, and that means one thing, Halloween, and I'm ready for it as well, Christian.
Say it again.
Yes, Halloween Fest, Saturday, October 26th. Get the kids in costume and head to the White Park in downtown Riverside for Halloween Fest between 2 and 10 p.m. There's a costume contest for both kids and adults, a haunted trial, kids zone with crafts and games, Halloween vendors, and a food and beer garden. Food and beer garden, wow. Halloween Fest tickets are $10 for adults and free for kids 14 and under. That's Saturday, October 26th, 2 to 10 p.m. at White Park in downtown Riverside. For more info, call 784-3111 or visit riversidehalloweenfest.com. It's Halloween Fest, Saturday, October 26th.
Food and beer garden. So
Right.
we know where to find you, and I do believe from 2 to 10, so that's 8 hours of that for you, my friend.
Right, and 9 hours on November 2nd, as you see in the bottom ticker there, Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos at White Park as well in downtown Riverside. So White Park is the place to be for a couple weekends here towards the holidays.
Now they'll go short once again on dropped. The line of scrimmage is Kevin Sanders for Ramona on the first down. It's beyond asking. Coming up next on Thursday, Ramona will return home as they get set to take on Patriot. Then the following Friday, take on Hillcrest before finishing up at La Sierra. That will be here at Norte Vista High School. And then the season will conclude on the 1st of November against Jurupa Valley before the CIF Southern Section playoffs. So back to pass right now is Dante Roby trying to fling one up, and the intended target was Cornejo, just overthrown a bit. And missing that passing precision that they had, no doubt, earlier under Diego Muniz. And just a reminder, more coming up from the Halloween Fest.
It's coming up.
Nick.
Let's take a look at that Riverside TV schedule, shall we? And we've got a doubleheader tonight, but next week is integral as well. Norte Vista and Hillcrest in a battle of undefeated teams in the league will be underway October 11th.
Good game.
Arlington and Paloma Valley, I'll be there as well with Jeff. Then on the 19th, Pauley battles Lakeside, North and Orange Vista, Arlington, Notre Dame, La Sierra, Norte Vista, and also on November 1st in a doubleheader, King battles Pauley. That's all coming up on Riverside TV, and I've got my eyes set on next week's matchup, which you're doing, Hillcrest and Norte Vista, because usually most leagues only enter 2 teams to the playoffs, the conference champion and the runner-up out of the league. The winner of that game most likely will be the second team in the league. We'll see, first or second. I mean, we're all guessing. It's very early in the season, but that's a very important football game, and that's coming up on Friday, one of 2 in a doubleheader on Riverside TV.
36-yard botched punt of sorts, but they make something out of nothing, and it will be the Braves taking over, and some of these second stringers will come back on.
Running clock as well, Christian. So all right, the Rams, I'm sure, are happy for this defensively, knowing that they get a chance for this game to end soon and they can catch their breath. That defense has been on the field for a majority of the football game. Just an incredible clinic put together by the Braves up front.
So Vasquez on his debut, his varsity debut, lines up in the eye, pitch back, and it will be carried by Gabe Koshmeri, the 5'6", 150-pound senior. The rare carry for him in relief of Eddie Alain. Can't say enough about that game next week between Norte Vista and Hillcrest, the defending River League champions.
And Hillcrest is about ready to finish off their impressive beatdown over Jurupa Valley on the road, up 35-8 in the 4th quarter. Just a couple minutes left to go in that game.
The pass caught was incomplete, brought down nicely by the number 16, Isaac Gaines, the 5'10" sophomore.
Sorry, not to cut you off. Hillcrest is actually up 41-8 over Jurupa Valley.
It's going to be an interesting clash of 2 of the heavyweights here at Zach Ertz Stadium. As you look at this one, nice little grab from the sophomore.
Yeah, on a quick slant. One of the Rams safeties fell down on the play, that being Marcus Hidalgo. And that wound up allowing him to nearly move the chains on that crossing pattern.
So it was 3rd and 2. Let's see what's happening here.
Yeah, it was a 1-yard gain, setting a 4th down. And for those of you just joining us, this game, it says 43-7. The Braves and the Rams, this was anyone's football game until about 7 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, where Ramona, this is something they can ill afford to have happen. Of course, a loss here versus later in the year could help them rebound and build some momentum, but they can ill afford moving forward to let one play wind up being 22 unanswered, and a game that was close turned into a blowout.
Under 4 minutes left here. Purely academic at this point.
Yeah, that's a 1st down pickup for the Braves in neutral zone infraction. And these are the type of things that for the Rams, they can use this week to build upon. And this is off of a bye as well, so I'm sure some of these messages were already brought beforehand as we see the encroachment. Just not one, but a couple players jumped early. They can use this as a learning tool moving forward. Wow, they're going to call a false start. Never mind. This is a tool they can have moving forward, knowing that for the Rams, if you make 1 or 2 mistakes, to be able to rebound and avoid it becoming an avalanche.
And quite the different fate from their only other game on the road, a 44-7 trouncing in week 0 of Canyon Springs at the end of August. Seems a long time ago, but they can regroup against Patriot.
You hate to have these learning lessons in league play, but you'd rather have it now than later on when the playoffs are completely at stake.
4th and 5 for Vasquez, and once again, he'll go to the senior Koshmeri. Not much there for him, well short of the 1st down. So bring up a 4th down situation.
No, that's a turnover, sorry, because that previous play wasn't an encroachment. That was a false start.
Also, it drops it for the 4th down loss, and 1st and 10 here for Ramona.
And this would be a huge momentum boost for the Rams if they can score a touchdown here. Just some pride points going into next week, because next week's football game, that just might be the season. It's the beautiful thing about high school football, that really the entire year comes down to a couple games, your league schedule. And the way the schedule is panned out this year, if Ramona loses next week, their hopes of going to the playoffs are all but over. Also a thanks before we sign off from Riverside TV. We've got 2 minutes to go here in regulation. Kids from Arizona, 8th graders, have been an integral part of a Riverside TV broadcast today and throughout the year. Quick shout out to those guys.
Yes, indeed, and kind of striking the fear of God into our Riverside TV cast and crew here. Perhaps our jobs are in jeopardy. 8th graders are taking over, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, guys. Great crew tonight. And this will be the 2nd largest outburst tonight this season.
Beautiful
as pass
throw.
caught, completed. A good little grab that time from Zach Shiner all the way down. And that will march it all the way down to the 20-yard line. And the chains will move, but they had that amazing shutout, 51-0 in week 1. Norte Vista at home here against Sultana. The only loss, as I mentioned, back on the 13th against Temecula Valley. And Dante Roby eludes the challenge. Some great balance that time from Dante Roby, the senior. He's shown a lot of heart. It was a season low the last time he faced the Braves, and he's come out and really put on a brave face tonight. But
oh, man.
It just wasn't quite enough.
I'm cringing. And yeah, next week's game, Ramona Rams, Patriot Warriors. That's a Thursday game. So they have 6 days to prepare for what might just be a lose, and you go home and your playoff hopes are over. So the Rams have to rebound. They've got only a couple days to get this right.
And last play of the game, and it will be Roby rolling out wide to the right, and pass caught complete all the way down to the 4-yard line as it's caught by Adrian Monhe.
He dropped it. Wow, they called incomplete on that?
Incomplete. Looked as though he grabbed it. That's going to do it. Nevertheless, and a huge, huge win, 43-7, as Norte Vista is victorious over Brave Ramona.
Well, that certainly brave is a good way to put it, because Ramona hung in the game against the talented Braves club of Norte Vista for 2.5 quarters. Just an incredible start to this game for the Braves. We take a look at the start, a 25-play, 80-yard drive, capped off on the scoring run from the Braves and Joseph Lucky. That was one of 2 scoring runs for the Braves to lift them up 14-0. Muniz throws an interception downfield, which was a momentum shifter in the first half, keeping Notre Vista not just with possession, but chewing up that clock.
And Lucky really setting the tone. Got it done on both sides of the ball, because then on this little pitch back, Lucky takes it all the way. And a big run for Joseph Lucky, a 38-yard touchdown run for the 5'11 senior.
There's a scoring run from Dante Roby. That answers the scoring run from Lucky, 14-7 off the touchdown from Roby going into the half. This was maybe the most important play of the game, however.
Yeah, he just busted these wide open. Jesse Carvajal with 2 big scampers, one for 79 yards, as you see here. And that made it a 22-7 into the third. And the 2-point conversion good from Eddie Elaine to make it 22-7, and then this is where it went south here. Roby's picked off Buddy Wilson Jr. What a return, 50-yard pick 6 for Buddy Wilson Jr., the free safety. And then more lines crossed as Shiner gets in the way of the snap. It's recovered that time by Oscar Godoy, setting up this little run from Eddie Elaine, who busts it wide open. And the senior, I tell you what, he gets top billing, and you can see why. He just might be one of the best sophomores in the country.
All right, this was an incredible run from Jesse Carvajal. He didn't take the ball much in the first half, but now has 2 touchdown runs for the game, including that one to close out our highlights, where Notre Vista trounces Ramona 43-8. Day of the Dead, Christian. It's a big event here in Riverside.
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, returns Saturday, November 2nd at White Hart Park in downtown Riverside from 1 to 10 p.m. And of course, the 16th annual anniversary of this traditional Mexican festival is held to celebrate with great food, art, music, dance, and most importantly, beautifully decorated and personalized altars honoring loved ones that have since passed on. For more information, get on the horn. 951-784-3111. That's 951-784-3111. Or you can get online at riversidedayofthedead.com.
Halloween Fest is also coming up. That's first before your Dia de los Muertos. That's Saturday, October 26th. And for Halloween, the kids get costume and head to White Park in downtown Riverside again, October 26th. It's a Halloween Fest between 2 and 10 p.m. There's a costume contest for both kids and adults, a haunted trial, kids zone with crafts and games, Halloween vendors, and a food and beer garden. Halloween Fest tickets are $10 for adults and free for kids 14 and under. That's Saturday, October 26, 2 to 10 p.m. at White Park and downtown Riverside. For more info, call 784-3111. That's 784-3111, or visit riversidehalloweenfest.com.
36-point win. Convincing fashion here for Norte Vista. Final thoughts from you, Nick Rice.
It just makes an incredible matchup next week. 2 of the 3 teams that are undefeated in the league do battle next week, Norte Vista and Hillcrest. But the Ramona Rams, don't take anything away from this second half performance. The Rams hung in for 2.5 quarters against Norte Vista. They ran the ball well. Sensational performance for their running back, Dante Roby. But of course, Norte Vista, too many bodies, a powerful offensive line. They had nearly 350 yards of offense on the ground, which their head coach wants every week, but the Braves get it done this week, played well off of a bye, and have an important football game next Friday night, 1 of 2 on Riverside TV.
So Ramona moves to 5-1, 0-1 in River Valley League play. Norte Vista also 5-1, 1-0 in River Valley League play, and it sets up that tasty matchup as defending champions Hillcrest will be in action. We'll have it for you on our Riverside TV high school football game of the week, so make sure you join us then. But until then, that's going to do it for us. On behalf of our entire great crew, my man Nick Rice, it was a lot of fun. Producer, director Scott Brocious, this is Christian Miles saying good night from the Inland Empire here in Riverside, where Norte Vista wins out 43-7 over the Ramona Rams. Good night, everybody.